I mean, dude, we got to talk about something that happened in the NFL. Something really crazy happened like almost right after we recorded the show.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I was gonna say something funny, but I didn't have it. Micah Parsons, the trade finally went through right after we shot. We spent probably 20 minutes talking about it, and then like minutes later, not minutes, maybe hours later, after the first video uploaded, maybe a day or two, it came out that he's getting traded. He was getting shipped to Green Bay for a price of 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, the D tackle. And shortly thereafter, Parsons signs a 4-year, $188 million extension with said Green Bay Packers. He's going to be their premier defensive player for years to come. The Packers all of a sudden might be a problem in the NFC North, maybe the NFC altogether. Gerardo, what are some of your initial reactions to this?
So both me and you were kind of on the same page that Dallas was going to re-sign him. That's what we were kind of leaning towards. The big notable thing that I have for this is how little he went for. I was hoping a minimum of 3 first-round picks to get a really good, to have this argument for the Cowboys that you're going to get better from this. The fact that he also signed that deal, my crazy theory is not happening anymore about that he goes to Green Bay, becomes a free agent, tests the market, and then next thing you know, he comes back to Dallas, and they ultimately essentially got Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks, and Micah Parsons back, but he's going to stay there for at least 4 years and becoming the highest paid, and also the moniker of like he's the record-setting highest paid non-quarterback of all time.
Pretty much all he wanted. Yep.
Funny part is, though, after taxes out there in Green Bay, he's making $25 million a year.
Yeah, so gotta pay for that. Gotta pay for that Green Bay education.
Yeah, so technically he's making as much money as he would have been making at the Cowboys this season. But it's the guaranteed money that's ultimately the main driving factor for most NFL players. Good for Green Bay. You fix a little bit of an issue that you do have. Like if you have great pass rush, usually your defensive backs are going to look a little bit better. You get a player that's not even in his prime yet, and he's going to be on the cusp of it. He's going to fit that defense very well. Him, Rashawn Gary is going to be there. Now, the Cowboys did get Kenny Clark back, and that is a notable good player in this league to bolster up the interior defensive line. The thing is, what they do with these first-round picks ultimately will decide whether or not this trade was good or not.
Yeah, they could easily just be another Taco Charlton. Like
exactly, like it can come down to many different factors as well too. Because right now, Green Bay won. Green Bay won this deal. The fact that you only got them for 2 first-round picks is pretty amazing. Because one, it's not like you got 2 first-round picks in the same draft class. You just got one. The Cowboys now have 2 first-round picks this year and 2 first-round picks next year, which is good draft capital though. So, and especially having a Dak Prescott who is aging in this very hefty quarterback class that you're coming in. So you now have draft capital to move up. It's going to be a little bit more of a harder bargain to drive up because I'm assuming that the Green Bay Packers are going to be in the playoffs now with this move. And you're probably getting a late 20s pick with that. But nonetheless, you're probably swapping picks with the Browns, the Dolphins, of some ilk, maybe the Saints to get maybe the first overall pick, because both me and you have the Cowboys not doing very well this season, both finishing last in their division. So they are fighting for a top 5, top 10 pick as is. Losing Micah Parsons is a little bit now kind of, it's crazy to say that how talented he is, that hit the win-loss projection for the Cowboys does not actually change much.
No, not at
all. Ultimately, the big reason why the Cowboys win or lose is Dak Prescott. And not losing your head coach, moving on from Mike McCarthy and downgrading with Schottenheimer, and then now losing Micah Parsons. He was a big, a lot of the players were shocked. Like he was a big, relatively like locker room guy.
Yeah.
And now he's gone. And then they decided to spend that money on a player.
Daron Bland, the corner, used to be an interception, like pick six machine. Mm-hmm. Not sure what it's been lately, but apparently good enough that Jerry Jones thought, you know what? The money we just saved on Micah, let's throw a decent chunk at it at this Daron Bland guy, 4 years, another $2 million.
Yep. So ultimately, I'm gonna give the Packers an A because they went out and got a notable like top 10 player in this league for that draft capital. Like that is a great move. They're in win now mode. They understand that like within that division, like outside of Jared Goff, the other quarterbacks are younger than Jordan Love. So they are in win now mode. They have a very relatively good team built around Jordan Love as well too. Offensively, defensively, I'm still a little bit suspect on their defensive backs. Like somebody's going to have to cover Amon St. Brown. Somebody's going to have to cover DJ Moore, and somebody's going to have to cover Jets, Addison, and now even Thielen over there. And I think no matter how good of a pass rush Rashawn Gary and, Micah Parsons is, you still need people to cover. And losing Kenny Clark too as well, like that's a notable nose tackle as well too that was opening up gaps for Rashawn Gary and stuff like that. And their back seven I'm just not a big fan of the back seven of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it's taken a large hit over the years. They haven't been able to kind of rebuild what they had with Jair Alexander, Kevin King, as they all just kind of leave. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's probably the last big trade you'll see this NFL season until the deadline at the very least. Mm-hmm.